Here for another homework help video, this time on the histogram unit. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to the homework part, which is essentially parts 2 and 3. Let's do part 2 really quick. So you're supposed to have downloaded the penny mass data and you import it into a spreadsheet program. I'm going to use Microsoft Excel. And we're creating a scatter plot and a histogram. So it's called penny mass data CSV. So when I open this up, it looks like this. We have the year and the mass. So in 1974, penny weighed this many grams. Anyway, how do I graph this data in Excel? So I would select my data. So select it all, just drag down like you normally select things, and then both columns. Hey, notice I just selected the numbers and not the titles. You can select the titles. Excel's pretty savvy. It can understand that you first throw out the first row, but I never trust computers. You have to be very precise with computational software often. So just select your data. Insert menu, come over to the thing that looks like XY axis, and there it is. Look, something happened in 1982. Made the masses go down. That's what this graph is telling me. This graph says, look, the mass is about 3.1 grams, and then all of a sudden in the 1980s it becomes 2.5. So that's interesting. You should do some online research. What happened in 1982 to the penny? Okay, and then you should label your chart like they do in the video. High five. How do I make a histogram? So there's a lot of different ways, but I think you go up to, in Microsoft Excel, oof. I can't remember. I have to look at the video, but I'll tell you. I'm going to slightly do this a little bit differently because I know this is why I want to make this help video. So you can use the histogram feature in the analysis pack of Microsoft Excel, and I've done that before. I think you actually have to make your ranges first. So you have to actually, and this is why using Microsoft Excel is not as easy as Scilab, because you actually have to make your bins or your intervals first. And that's not easy to do all the time, including this time, right? So like, how would I figure out how to make the bins on these guys? So in Scilab, we wanted 100 equally spaced bins. And so what I think Scilab does is take the smallest mass and the largest mass and then divides it by 100. You could specify a bin size of 0.01 as well. And that might be easier because you know the smallest one is like 2.5-ish and the biggest one is 3.1-ish. And so if I did 100 equal divisions of that, think of them as dollars, right? Like if I think of these as dollars, and I want to make 100 bins, where's the decimal place thing right here? So think of it, the smallest one is like $2.50 and the largest one is like $3.10. So if I start at, like, let's say $2.30, that's the smallest, and I go up to $3.30, and that's my biggest, and I go by ones, that could be my interval sizes, right? So let me just call it 2.29 so you can see it, all the way up to $3.30, right? Something like that. That gives me about 100 100 bins of information, and that might be too many, right? How do I know which bin size or interval size to use? It would be nice to be able to change that quickly. And you can do that in the Scilab. Here in Microsoft Excel, you have to make these first, and then use the histogram command, which you have to find. It's in it's somewhere on Excel. Anyway, so the instead of doing this in Excel, I'm going to just use, because I know not everybody here has access to the latest, fanciest Excel. I'm going to just go, and there's another video, by the way, that shows you how to do this. It's on the canvas in Microsoft Excel. And I've done this in Excel, and it's cool, but also, like, it's lame because you have to keep making different range interval sizes like this manually. So instead, I'm going to use histogram plot. Make histogram software. Make histograms. So I'm just Googling that. Easy histogram maker. It's the first thing that comes up. Histogram maker, social science statistics. That's nice. Please enter your values above. So what I'm going to do here is just click on the values of my mass. Okay. Just going to select all of those. 151 of those. And I'm copying those, Control-C copies. You can right-click and hit copy as well. And I'm going to go back here and paste it in. Backspace, the last one, I don't know if it will read it. Generate! So there is my generated histogram with 4 bins. That doesn't tell me a whole lot. It does say there's 2 different areas of where the data are. So number of classes, I'm assuming that's bins. Let's do 10. I wonder if I can do more. Create new histogram. At least 10 would give me histogram. Oh, you know the drill. Control-V, backspace, generate. Trying to figure out how to use the software. Oh gosh, class range. I don't want this. Did it? Oh, it did it for me. At least it's doing a little bit more. Hey, that's cool and all, but I kind of wanted to, and this is kind of nice, right? You could use this software to make a histogram. I've actually seen better histogram makers, but that's essentially what you want to do online. That's the easy histogram maker. Let's go to histogram maker online, the second one. You think the second one is better than the first one? The first one's pretty good, probably for most data types. So I want a vertical one, normal one, that's fine. Enter my data. Number of items. Oh, it only lets me go up to 20. Okay. Well, and it wants me to log in. It wants me to pay money? This is lame. But anyway, you could use the first one. If you can't get your Microsoft Excel, you can find one of these things online. I've seen a lot of really good ones. Anyway, easy histogram maker would be fine. Okay, let's do this in Scilab. Because, you know, you can do it in Excel specifying your numbers or whatever, but let's do it in Scilab. Well, actually, I did a very similar one to Scilab. Let's look at another homework problem. Yeah. Oh, that's basically it. You just basically... Hey, how do I cut and paste my work when I'm done, by the way? Do you guys know how to do that? People are seemingly struggling with this. So I'm going to do an example of how I've got my homework done. How do I get credit for it? So, oosh, did I get rid of my chart? like a fool. Okay, so I'm gonna make a chart again. Scroll up to the top, select all your data. Save your work, you know, you gotta save your work. How are you gonna get paid unless you save your work? Insert, graphy thingy. There you go. So there's my graph. It's a bad graph because I haven't put in my labels, so make sure you put in your labels. Histogram, that's still saved, right? Maybe I didn't save it. Let's generate it again. Ooh, it's not copying and pasting, so I have to go back. Copy my mass data. Paste. Generate. Let's do 10 of these. It's weird. Well, whatever. I don't know why it's not doing it, but okay, so let's say this is what I want to turn in by my histogram of the masses. And how do I turn that in? So what my expectation is that you physically copy and paste these things into your Word file. So let's find the chart. How do I copy and paste this? Well, probably the easiest way is to use a snipping tool. In Apple, it's called Grab. In Windows, it's called Snipping Tool. I'm just going to snip a new selection. By the way, if I put it on my tab, but you can find it by searching for it. Snipping tool. So if you go snipping tool, there it is. It's an app. Search for it. You probably have one. Didn't even know you had one. Okay, what I want is a new. So snipping tool. And then you just select what you want to cut or save. In this case, it's the chart, so it'll look like that. So the snipping tool will save this. I can save this as an image. So it's going to save it as a PNG file, so I can use it to import into other documents. Let's call this Excel scatter plot, something like that. Okay, you can also, by the way, you can copy it and then just paste it into Word. It's a little bit of a shortcut. So here's my scatter plot right here. I'm just going to type in enter right here, and then paste that scatter plot in there. Okay, how do I create a histogram in Excel? Well, I watched this video and I used the Excel histogram tools to do it, and it looks a lot nicer. But if I can't use Excel, I can use Create Easy Histogram Social Science.com or whatever. So get my snipping tool again. I'm going to do a new selection. This time it's one of these. File, save as, I'll call this Excel histogram. And insert picture. Where's this picture? It's on the desktop, and it's called Excel histogram. So it looks like that. See how I will get credit for doing my work because I did it? So I know, random, right? And Plot 3 has you do this in Soilab. Please watch my video on how to do that. It shouldn't take you very long if everything works. What if my Soilab doesn't work? Just type in the code. So if my Soilab doesn't work, how do I plot anything in Soilab? Plot x, y, the x's, right? Here's the problem with that. I haven't defined my x and y yet, so it's not going to be that easy. There's a script you have to write. What is my x? X is going to be my data, right? So how do I get my data? This is my data. How do I get it in there? So a lot of people are having trouble with reading in the CSV files. You're supposed to, the way I do it in the video notes, if you look carefully, is I first import the CSV. I call something data equals CSV read and then the file name, like penny mass data or whatever. I think that's my first line of code. And then I define my x as the first column and my y as the second column, and then I can plot it. But a lot of people are having problems with CSV read. I know this sounds insane, but you can actually just type in an array of numbers. Like, how would I type in the x's? Well, what are the x's? They're the years, right? It's this column. So you can literally just copy these, Control-C, and paste them into Soilab. So that's what it would look like in Soilab, right? That's what your Soilab script would look like. I don't know why it's pasting in weird, but look, I just, like, if you type this into Soilab, and then you do the exact same thing for the y variable, except for put in the masses, it will work. You know, it's just really annoying to do that. It's really annoying to cut and paste. So that's why CSV read is really nice, because it one line of code and it reads in all the stuff. And then the y's are these. A lot of people are like, I can't get CSV read to work, and I'm like, just type in your data. You know what I mean? Like, type it in. Okay, I'm not gonna cut and paste again, but like, yeah, you can put in the numbers in here, and it goes in numbers, not letters, but you can plot those. So if you can't get CSV read to work, but you can get plot to work, then you're done. It takes you a whole, like, 1 minute more to do it. But please show the commands in there if you don't have Soilab working. That's the expectation for the homework. Good luck. Should take you, hopefully, a little bit of time. A little bit of fun programming. Thanks, you guys.